All right, we've got Get Me the Juice for MCC RPG. It's a level 1 adventure by Tim Satley. I hope that's the way you say your name. It's available on Drive-Thru RPG in PDF and print. I'll have a link down in the description. And I'm going to be spoiling this adventure, so don't watch this video if you might play it. But let's take a look at it. It's got a cool cuttlefish type creature on the front. Get Me the Juice is a reference to the fact that you as a party need to go out and get a bunch of power cells for your tribe. That's the main goal of this adventure. Here's the back of it here. It doesn't have any name on the spine because of its length, as it's only 33 pages roughly. But you're going to get some fun stuff out of it. So let's take a look here. We got your normal kind of stuff there. And so it's going to go into the background, talking about how the power cells are very plentiful back in the day, and there are storage facilities that have them, such as warehouses and stuff like that. And they're fundamental to the key of this adventure. So your tribe needs them because their box of cold, which helps keep things cold, like medicine and stuff like that, the power cell is dying. So they need to find a new one. So you're actually looking for a certain type of power source called a G-pod, a gamma pod. But any other power cells you can bring back is going to be great. So what you need to do is you need to try to get as many as you can, and that's going to determine how well you do in these scenarios. So that's one of the focuses I think is pretty cool. One thing I like is that he wrote up here, during testing, it typically took 6 to 9 hours to complete the entire adventure, resulting in 1 or 2 PC deaths, and then gives you a couple of suggestions for what he recommends for classes for this for successful completion. I think that's very helpful as well. So it's a bit of a jungle journey. You're going to have some random encounters as you travel on to try to find some of these power cells. One of those is going to be this Warga, which are 4-foot tall, grotesque-looking creatures that are pretty much the mixture of a warthog and an ape. It's got some background story about it. One thing that's really good is a lot of the stuff is very much fleshed out. A lot of stuff is explained, and I didn't have any problem whatsoever at reading the adventure and understanding the flow of each room and things like that. So a couple other things are going to attack you, or possibly you'll get in a muck with whenever if you roll up a random encounter. And you're going to reach a warehouse. So it's recently been kind of uncovered. There's a lot of brush and scrub, but you'll find a door. There's an AI called Sparks at the door, and he's got a pretty cool personality. You can have some fun with your players with that. But as you're entering the facility, the Cuddlemander that you see on the front is going to try to kill somebody in the back of the group with its neuropigmented skin to create beautiful displays of pulsating lights to charm them, and then of course to grab them much the way that a cuttlefish does and bring them into their beak and try to kill them as it makes a hasty retreat with the person's body. So a very cool creature here for this the start of this warehouse you're going to find. So you've got a hallway. There's a couple of electric traps. There's these Tibars, which are big rabbits. And the design of them, some of this art is obviously taken from different things, so it doesn't exactly look like that. But they have just destroyed a robot. The robot's got a security badge that's going to help you all throughout the warehouse. And here is the energy sap ability of that Tibar. So you're going to need to get that storage security badge. It's going to help you throughout the rest of this warehouse. There's a front office, and there's a map in the back. I wish it had kind of been in the front, but it's okay. There are some shock roaches in there. There's a lot of stuff to kind of explore and look at, and you can find yourself like a force field belt and a phaser pistol, and a lot of the stuff is really well explained, which I really enjoy that. The computer maintenance room is interesting. There's pretty much a hard air, which is permaglass, that separates the two sides of the room, and there are these plinths, these metal knobs on a plinth, and so you either have to make a human chain to touch both of them. It's a bit of a puzzle, and it's going to do damage, but if you can link those two together, then you'll be able to open up the door so you can get to the other side of the room. Well, in another room further on, there is pretty much jumper cables, which will help you do this without taking the damage. So it's a cool little puzzle there for you. And there's a lot of stuff should you open it up. Fusion torch, which is going to help you greatly. EMP grenade, med shot, stem shot, neuro shot, and of course a automatic heat cool thermos, which is great. You can also take a look at some security station images, which will give you a hint of what's to come inside this building. And there's an employee break room, so you've always got to have that. There is a helmet with some AI, some virtual reality AI that's going on in it. So that's very interesting. There's also a fusion reactor. There's some cool rules in there about what happens should you try to destroy the fusion reactor, as well as some security bots that will try to protect it. So when we look at the map, I'll be able to show you all these things, but this is an interesting place here to check out this virtual reality AI, and of course these security bots, which you should probably just go ahead and destroy. And then you're going to get into the main warehouse storage area with tons of racks, and it's got just a bunch of stuff, random things found in the warehouse racks, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. You roll a d12 for that, and it's going to be fun to kind of search around for those things. There is a high value cage, and in the cage is full of cells. It's going to be a bunch of power cells, and that's where you're going to have to decide whether or not how many you take, and there's rules for pretty much slowing you down. Since it is gauged on how many you bring back, as well as if you actually have the power source that needs to fuel your box of cold. And of course it's there too, the G pod, the gamma pod, and it's very heavy, but there is a way for you to bring it all to you and with you back to your village. But unfortunately, maybe fortunately for you, there is this huge robot here, cool piece of art. And it pretty much loads up this huge storage place. Depending on how you interact with that, it may attack you and kill you. You could possibly, if you role play well and do some things, get it on your side, which would be very cool, as it could help you load up a lot of the power cells. There's also a hand truck dolly you can use. It's going to slow you down in the jungle heading back, but it's going to be very helpful as well. So what's cool is you've got the long road home, and then there's two encounters that can happen. The power cell thief encounter. One is a bunch of these Glaskins. They're pretty much 2-foot tall sentients that they're pure strain humans. They all look the same. They're all male, but they're going to try to lead you on a little bit of a trail while attacking you, so that you will leave your goods behind, and then other guys from the left and right will come and steal them from you. So that's pretty cool. And there's also a rival tribe that's seeking out those power cells that you may have to encounter, and there's some NPCs in the back. So then once you get back, hopefully with your power cells, you'll return to your tribe, and that's where you'll be kind of judged with the tribal taxation table. How well you did. Did you get back the G-Pod? How many cells did you get, and what types? And then you'll roll on this taxation table based off how well you did, and it's going to lead you to hopefully keeping a lot of the loot that you found, as well as some of the power cells. So the worse you did, the more they're going to take. The better you did, the more you get to keep. And of course, you'll get some boons and benefits and some stat increases and stuff and experience points should you do really well. And then, of course, ending the adventure. Now, one thing that's really cool is this hooks to new adventure. So there's some things that you can do to kind of change around the place if you want to play it again. And here's the main map. It is obviously written by hand, drawn by hand, which I really like. It's obviously with a marker, and it looks good. It gets the job done. Here's your hallway. Here's your different rooms. This is going to be your energy source, and this is your warehouse right here. This is your caged area where the G-Pod and the cells are going to be. And then that big robot is just going around working in this huge section here. So if you want to come back to the warehouse, now one thing that's really great about this adventure is it can be repopulated, and things maybe have changed. Alarms have, since you've gone inside it and the doors opened up, possibly an alarm has been triggered someplace else, and now maybe some robots are coming to find out what's happened to this place, or some Tibars or some other creatures have come in now that the door is open, and they're going to try to see what's going on inside there as well. So should you come back, there are rules for repopulating it, and then of course making those whatever power cells you didn't pick up, making those pretty much useless, so that you're not constantly just coming here and getting tons of power cells. But it's a very good, much appreciated section for an adventure that could have stopped, but then giving you more chances to play it differently and to repopulate the area. So very much big kudos to that section. It's going to give you a lot more play out of this adventure. There could be lizard men that have shown up, androids. There's some security bots that were sent from another place. Cave crickets have now infested the place. And they're from MCC RPG. So just some very cool stuff there. And here's all the new creatures that are listed for this adventure. So it's very good to have them all in the back there with that cargo bot and the Cuddlemander. And then there's some NPCs you can use for players or a rival tribe. So there it is. That is Get Me the Juice. I hope that this has been a cool video, and it's a neat adventure. You could get a lot of fun out of it. A quick little dungeon crawl, Probably get you done in probably 2 sessions. And that's MCC RPG Adventure for you. So check it out. And if you pick it up, let me know what you think about it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.